Hi, and welcome to the Labor's Health and Safety Fund's Toolbox Talk series on trench safety. I'm Ryan Paparello, Health and Safety Specialist from the Labor's Health and Safety Fund. We're going to be talking about unprotected trenches and how to keep you safe. This is an unprotected trench, as you can see because of the 90-degree walls that are present. OSHA defines a trench as being longer than it is wide. Before work in a trench begins, an employer must assign and train a competent person, call 811 to identify and mark underground utility lines, evaluate the soil to determine its stability, identify safe locations for spoil piles and plan routes for heavy equipment, plan ahead for trench protection such as having a trench box on site or contacting a professional engineer if the trench will be 20 feet or deeper, have a traffic and pedestrian control plan and lane closure permits, and develop an emergency action plan. If a trench is more than 5 feet, it must be protected. If it's more than 3 feet, a competent person must be present. You must never get into an unprotected trench. A trench shield must be used to protect workers in a hazardous trench. If the work is to continue, the trench box must follow. A ladder must also be used for access and egress. It must be within 25 feet of each worker, must have 3 rungs over the top of the trench box, and also using a fiberglass ladder is to limit electrocution hazards. The most popular types of protecting workers in a trench are sloping and benching. The angle of the slope depends on the type of soil. There's 3 types: type A, type B, and type C.
Type A soils include clay, silty clay, sandy clay, and clay loam. Soils cannot be considered type A if cracks are present or other conditions exist that can adversely affect it, such as vibration from heavy traffic, pile driving, or similar effects, presence of groundwater or freezing and thawing conditions, and having been previously disturbed or excavated. Type B soils include silts, sandy loams, medium clays, and unstable rock. Soils that might be classified as A but are subject to vibration may also be classified as B soils. A soil is classified as type C if it is submerged or if water is seeping from the sides of an excavation. Soil may also be designated as type C when excavations are made in layered soils, where different soil types are stacked, or when a less stable soil lies beneath a more stable one. In such cases, the weakest layer typically fails first, compromising the overall stability of the excavation.
A rule of thumb is to assume that this is type C soil because it's the most unstable.
Type C soil shall be sloped at a 34-degree angle,
or 1 1/2 to 1 ratio. Before workers enter into a trench, it must be inspected by a competent person. A competent person must inspect when conditions change or even after break. A few things to look for are cracks in the trench, water, underground utilities, and atmospheric hazards.
Remember, excavation and trenching fatalities are completely preventable if the rules, regulations, and best practices are followed. For more information about trench safety, reach out to the Fund's OSH division. Thanks and stay safe out there.